Hello and welcome to this week's Capsule Cast for the quarterfinals round one. I am your host Destiny with my co-host Doorguard,
What's happening?
and yeah, this was a pretty exciting week. Get to see some teams first time in bye week, I believe, for this year.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is it's a setup week, so not as many matches, not as much going on, but what it sets up for this next week is what's really important.
So with that, shall we get moving on forward then?
Yes, sir.
All right. Here we have North Kai round one. Budin's taking home the first round, and at least some good things I found about this match. Budokai came in with a decently strong lineup, Budin's as well, and I think it just all started. I think it all just started turning around after Cyborg Tao kind of was at least trying to make it even with Majin Buu, and then General Tao versus Evil Buu kind of didn't go their way. But Dor, what do you think about your match here?
Well, in terms of a prepping side, they pretty much have started every character in like every position. So it was very difficult to come up with who should be where. So I kind of just went with Buhan as the generic, can handle most people. Um, and kind of figured Kid Goku would be coming out to start. So didn't know if that would be good or bad for me, but thought he probably had a decent chance. And obviously, Kid Q actually did probably better than Buhan did. But Buhan did tag, so we didn't actually get to see him finish off. But obviously, things went a lot better as it went on. Majin Buu did fine. He did his normal, but Evil Kid Buu didn't really hit any planet bursts, which was probably good for them, but obviously he still got his damage off. And then, of course, Evil Buu just totally popping off. Definitely unexpected. Not to say that he can't, but Evil Blue's been pretty mediocre this season. He's been definitely mostly a like 40k character and 50k at best, but to hit all the way up to 90, over a little over 90,000 is certainly difference maker. And might have been a lot scarier of a match if that didn't happen, because he obviously took out a lot. And I think you're also safe to say now every team is pulling out their best lineup. So it's not even just a good lineup, just these are the lineups people are comfortable with. And I think both I and Budokai came out with the characters we think could do the best. And matchup wise, I think they actually had it if tags weren't involved. I actually think they had. I think 18 would have destroyed Majin Buu and gotten them a lead that I may have not been able to come back from. But due to the way tags worked and such, Majin Buu got a little bit better matchup, which allowed him to get some damage off before going down. And then, honestly, I don't know if I have a great answer for 18. I think it just kind of came about as my characters managed to handle her without taking too many B2s to the face.
Yeah, but so yeah, really a good showing from Bujin's. Budokai had a decent showing, and so are you feeling like, are you? We can get to this in more of the predictions later, but are you feeling confident going into at least maybe the next two rounds here?
Yeah, last year I lost the first round against Namek, so it was a lot scarier going into the next round because I had to win 2 back-to-back, and I was going to the away map there. So I do feel a lot better going into this one, having already gotten the win, and in the next 2 matches I only need to get 1. Granted, if I win just straight up the next match, then it won't matter. So I feel like I have the best odds, and I've done some stuff with my lineups that hopefully should be able to kind of keep up the pace. I know Budokai is already feeling a little discombobulated. I think they were hoping for a lot closer match for that round 1, so getting kind of, Spovic only did 8,000, not because he did bad, but that's all he could do. That was the that was exactly how much left basically was left. So
Exactly one Berserker crash worth.
yeah, so he had Evil Boo tried to tag and switched to Buhan. Buhan might have come out, finished it, and I would have had Spopovich done no damage. So really was like pretty up in the air on what could have happened to this match in terms of like stat-wise changing a little bit. Sorry. Long day of work today. So I don't know. It's gonna be weird. I think they have a pretty complete team. It'll just be can like Merc Tau and 18 kind of pop off because they were their two worst this week, and those are their two best characters.
Yeah.
So having that happen again might be asking for a little much.
Also, from what I understood, they changed Kid Ku's AI for this match from the last one.
They might have. I don't really know all of what Plana goes there. I just know he's a decently strong character and certainly hard to handle.
Especially with that small stature.
Yeah, he just gets his melee in real quick.
Yeah.
He just always gets all his combos going.
But with that, shall we get to moving on to East Kai then?
Yeah, I'm down.
Alright, moving on, we have East Kai with Earth Defenders, with dynamic Earth Defenders taking home round 1. We don't have the stats yet as of recording this, but honestly, this was a pretty back and forth match for a bit, and then if memory serves me correctly, Nova just couldn't do much versus Tien and mid Vegeta, but because of Tien Neo Tri-Beam, he actually brought it within 1 bar of health between both characters. So definitely an interesting one.
This was a match that looked like Namek was just gonna start running through when Tam was just absolutely destroying Goku, and we did get to see the rare level 3 Goku, so that's always fun. But it still wasn't enough. It just seemed like, what are you gonna do? And then he did some damage to Krillin, and it's like, okay, so now they have Namek has a lead going, right? Like, late Piccolo's coming in, what are you supposed to do? Kind of seemed like this is how they do their matches, is once they get that lead going. If late's coming in, it's like, oh god. And he was doing some work. Krillin tried his best, but just didn't quite work out. It just really came down to, as you can see here by having 10 in the back, he did his job. Mid Goku took out late Piccolo, and I think he hit an ult. Yeah. Looking through the video to find it. Yeah, so he hit a 20,000 ult on Nail, which basically evened the match back up. Like, you want to talk about a team fighting back from the brink, that's pretty good. I think most people would still give Namek a high chance because of, what's his name?
Late Piccolo, Nuoven.
Late Piccolo. But yeah, I think Tien and mid Vegeta, I think just have a little bit more than what King Piccolo and Nuova could do, and that just kind of sealed it. But yeah, I mean, you want to talk about the next round being also pretty insane. They handled late Piccolo this time, like I was saying in North Kai where 18 got handled. Like, if late Piccolo actually gets to do more than his 40k, because that was probably about what he did. He only took out a character, then he got spammed to death. So
yeah, if late Piccolo does more than his 40, it's like he's a problem.
And I think Nuova also did really bad.
I don't know if he did super bad or just the people he was against never let him charge to do
mostly
anything.
against mid Vegeta. So yeah, he gets a little bit better matchup, and yeah, he could certainly. I mean, we know what Nuova can do. He's a scary character.
I actually think this is exactly how it went in their main season match. But in their main season match, Namek was still ahead, but it was mid Goku who went elite versus their team to bring it back.
Oh, we did get to see Tien shoot for an ult, and he did it 4 times, so that's also fun.
Brought it
It
within
seemed like
one
King.
bar.
Yeah, it actually was pretty close near the end till that ult, and yeah, I think it was a 1 bar difference in the end. So in terms of a match that could go any way in this next round, that is certainly one. So I would give mad credit to both teams. Both teams are incredibly strong. I think people would not be surprised if an East Kai team is not only in the final but wins it, because Earth Defenders Namek have always been very strong. They're teams that don't change much either because of how good they are, and it's showing again this season.
Alright. Yeah, I really think that's all there is for this one. Just a very incredible match.
Yeah, I mean, it's just going to come down to can Namek nearly almost won it with like King Piccolo and Tambourine doing more than average, and King Piccolo well, Nail always screwing it up, but late Piccolo and Nuova not doing well, whereas ED, everybody did their job. So it's like, it just goes to show that there are two very, very scary characters that did not do their above average as per normal on one side, where the other side, everybody did their job and they still narrowly won. So ED has got a match to fight here.
And Namek, if late Piccolo or Nuova just do like more than like 60k, it could definitely
do
swing.
more than 40k. I don't even know if Nuova hit 40. Obviously, we don't have the stats, but from rewatching the matches today, I don't think he even did 40. I think he may have not even. I think he barely did 30 if he did, and that's Nuova. So like,
and not just the Nuova late Piccolo combo, which is scary in its own right.
For sure. So that's why I'm saying like a lot could still change.
Yeah, a lot
here.
Yeah, this is one of the Kais where it's like it's hard to tell either way there it goes. But with that, shall we get moving on to Wes Kai?
Yeah, that works for me.
Alright. Here we got Wes Kai with RW and Royals. Royals taking away at round 1 here, and as of this recording, we don't have RW stats. But holy, this was a match. Cause like what is it? I can't remember. Meta actually easily took out N Vegeta, mostly because N Vegeta was trying to clash him, and Meta this season has been Royals' primarily Power of Rage character, especially since he's an android. And then Majin Vegeta came in after N and Meta tagged, took care of Aider, and took out N Vegeta, which, considering N Vegeta on his last bar, can be a complete scary character. I think what happened this match was Maju was looking really good as well. Slug, I think, almost made this a loss for Royals, but even then they still won with like almost maybe a full character, I believe. Oh yeah, because Videl came in and only had to do a bar of damage. But what do you think?
I think this was a strange one because I don't think we've seen RW getting rocked as hard as they did here. Like, Royals had a pretty decent health lead at the end. So it really could go anyway in these next matches, because everybody knows that RW is kind of the team to beat, just like my team Bujins was last season, with being that incredibly hard to deal with, incredibly strong team. So it's just one of those, like, it could really go anyway in this next match, and it could be very scary as well. I don't know. It's like when we get to the other part, the next part of the, obviously going over, like, it's gonna be, it's gonna be hard. So it's something. It's something for sure. I don't really know what else to say. I mean, both teams, I kind of wish we had the stats to see what happened, because I'm pretty sure RW had some characters just totally flop. I just can't recall off the top of my head, but you know, we know N Vegeta's gotten multiple elites this season. We know they don't have Yajirobe in.
Early Goku's done his share. Taehyung is decent.
Maju, obviously a very good character. Aider, a very good character.
I think this, it just came more down to people just got their not so good matchups, like, or if they got a decent matchup, they were doing it in the wrong way. Like, and just mostly tried to clash versus Meta. Aider came in Ader was versus Machin Vegeta, who is a character that can just decimate with B2s.
If he gets going.
Yeah,
We've
if he
certainly
gets
seen
going.
Majin Vegeta against Rugrats have a round where he did legit nothing.
Yeah. But I just think this round came as who got the bad matchups, and then it just spiraled out of control. But man, this match, even when it came down to RW's last character, early Goku, I was still shaking in my boots for this one, because like you don't know what will happen with Rez.
Yeah, they have a lot of variability. But Royals are indeed a very strong team as well, and we knew this season we kind of expected them to be in the spot RW was based off of that loan deal for Baby. And it's shown up now, Baby with that 80k, one of the few stats we do have. He went ham. So yeah, it's funky. It's gonna be funky. It's gonna be an awesome next few rounds. But in terms of this round, obviously Royals getting the job done, their characters doing what they needed to do.
With that, shall we get moving then?
Yeah, I'm good. Move on to the last match.
Moving on, we have South Kai Muscle versus Derp, and this one had quite a few things. Android 13 was on a 5-point build. Trunks, one of the few times that he gets just knocked around by his opponent. Vegito just kind of handled him easily, and I think most of Trunks' stats there were from the ultimate he did. And what was it? But not like either team here. Derp definitely held their own, at least with Supreme Kai and Vegito. Hercule not really doing what he normally does. Dodoria, I just think, having a bad matchup, and Salsa seemed to have struggled here. With Muscle, especially versus Bojack, who, funny enough, final bar, Salsa just couldn't take out, and then came down to Bojack, who had his ult prepared, versus Hercule, who came in False Courage, and then immediately got ulted during the False Courage.
Yeah, I mean, this was a weird one because it definitely seemed like Derp had it. Like, they secured it, but Green Bojack showing why. I know people, especially in Muscle, were like, oh, he shouldn't have gotten the 3 Blast Stock Nerf transformation. He only has 4. It's so hard. You know, it's like super rough and all this and that, and it's just super obnoxious and was... But, I mean, it's matches like this that shows it. That transformation just makes his kit so much better. He doesn't get nearly as much power-up per se as 13 and Legendary Super Saiyan, but he does get a good power-up, and it just showed in this match that even though they tried a new build, like a complete new build on 13 and other stuff just to, you know, round 1 is a little bit, you can do a little bit more variability because you have the next few rounds, so it's not like a must win. It is nice, it's certainly great to have that win, but it's not like if you don't have it, you just lose. It's just harder next time. So they decided to take some risks, and even though it looked like it wasn't going to pay off, it ended up at the very last second paying off. So you could definitely say they got a little lucky. Derp obviously missing playoffs last season, so this is their first 5v5 setups in the new league. So it's a lot for them. They have a lot of kind of trials and tribulations here, and they really having to fight their way. And I think it you know, it makes their underdog story even better with having to make this comeback. So if they do get through, it's an even better story for the ages kind of thing.
Yeah. Just definitely a weird match, but a good one. And I do just have to say, like, no matter who I hear that's like trying to badmouth Bojack, I don't think he's a bad character, especially with that transformation on hand. Just like here, it's like we just seen what his transformation do. Grand Smasher as B2, pulling its way from the brink of death, basically.
Yeah, I mean, he also did like an ult or 2 in there as well, and obviously has very high damage on that ult as well.
Yeah, but you think that was all that needed to be said here?
Yeah, for the most part. I mean, and most of the kind of needs to go on is gonna be for the prediction. So it's kind of
Yeah,
like, this was a match. I guess we could talk more on it, but honestly, it's just what can you say?
what can
Muscle should have lost. They really should have lost on how it was ending, but they got saved by one of their characters who decided to not drop the ball.
Yeah, honestly, just kind of really hard to talk about the round 1 matches, like, because the more tightening matches, the more ones that hold more weight are the next 2 potentially.
Yeah.
But I guess speaking of that, let's move on to predictions, shall we?
Sounds good to me.
Alright, moving on, we have our near elite, only one of the week, Evil Boo, the best man. But now we have North Kai with Budokai having the home map against Bujins. Again, Bujins up 1-0. I personally think Bujins will take it to a 2-0, considering how good most of your characters did here, and the fact that Spopovich didn't do much, but we've seen what Spopovich can do this season.
Yeah, the fact that, like, I think my worst character right now is Buhan, and that's, Buhan still. It's gonna be an awkward one, and I did beat Budokai in our divisional on their map, so obviously I'm giving it to my squad due to being my team. However, I could see this going to a round 3 just because it is Budokai, they're in North Kai for a reason, and all that.
Alright, moving on, we have East Kai, ED versus Namek, and considering how that last match went, I still have like no idea who's gonna win. I feel like ED could take the series. I do think Namek can pull off a win though, but I'm gonna have to say ED.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to give it to ED as well. The thing is, I definitely would not be surprised at all for Namek taking it, but I think ED getting that first win in that clutch fashion just shows that, like, if they could just get one more win, and they have, they could do it. They have technically 2 matches to try, and they are where Namek has to do, like, they have to get their lineup everything right to win 2 in a row, which is just, I did it against them, but it was like by the a hair margin. It is insanely hard to do, and against a team like ED, I think that's just going to be almost too hard. Most people think ED's making it to the finals anyways because of how strong they've looked this season, so I'm going to rest my vote on the Earth Defenders.
Got 2-0 for ED. Moving on to Wes Kai, we have RW with Royals up 1. Another one that's like, with how the match went, I think it could definitely go the other way. I think since Royals has the 1 already, they can just squeeze that win again, but I would not be surprised if RW takes the series.
Who do you vote on, Nick?
Royals.
Royals? Yeah, I don't want to double dip with you on every vote. I don't know. I guess I'll give it to Resurrected Warriors. I think that there was some unluckiness. I wanted Royals to win, but I think Resurrected Warriors are incredibly scary for a reason, and I don't think you can get lucky every match with Vegeta just not doing 3 characters. So.
At the same time, most characters on Res can do 3 characters worth. Alright, so 1-1 West Kai. Moving on, we have South Kai, and this one I'm going to have to say Muscle. I like Derp and all, but I think with Muscle clawing this win back from them, and some of them not even performing up to par, and 13 just on a completely different build, they could be more serious this week and take away the second win they need.
I'm gonna give it to Muscle. I think. Obviously the whole thing would be awesome to see Derp just keep going, and obviously that's would be the most fun story to watch. It would be, like I was saying earlier, like to come from a match down and do it. But in terms of realistically watching, and I think Fiora would say as well, like it's just like even if they get one win, to get two is just gonna be so hard. I just don't know if any team can really do that against Muscle. Honestly, that is so much you have to ask for.
Yeah, as someone who had to fight them, because they took it home last year against my team, it's very hard, especially during the double thing where you can't change your lineup. You're in the exact same lineup for both matches.
Yep, you have to get it right and then hope it works twice.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot. It's a lot to ask for.
And Muscle here only needs it to work once.
Yep.
But
All right. Well, I don't have anything else in terms of voting, unless you wanted to bring up any other topics.
Not really. I think we just, since it's round one, we don't really have much to say here, and we kind of said our pieces for the prediction. So, with that, we come to the end of the Capsule Cast. You can check out the links to the Twitter, the website, and the Discord in the description below. Trust us, we don't bite. Come help us with builds. Some teams are testing right now, or hey, you can come.
Most teams are testing right now, and after
most
this upcoming weekend, the majority of the teams will be testing. So if you wanted to join and have your voice heard, it's a great time to do it.
Yeah, or hey, you can come cheer on whichever team is left in the playoffs. But with that, I was your host, Destiny.
And I was your co-host, Doorguard.
And we will be seeing you, ladies and gentlemen, next time.
See you guys later.